Abraham Lincoln is widely regarded as one of the greatest American presidents. He is best known for his leadership during the American Civil War and his commitment to ending slavery in the United States. Early life. Abraham Lincoln was born on February 12, 1809, in Hodgenville, Kentucky. His parents, Thomas and Nancy Lincoln, were farmers and Abraham was the second of 3 children. When Abraham was just 9 years old, his mother passed away due to milk sickness. His father remarried a year later and Abraham was raised primarily by his stepmother, Sarah. Lincoln received little formal education and was largely self-taught. He read extensively and developed a love for learning, particularly in the areas of history and politics. Lawyer and politician. In 1830, Lincoln moved to Illinois and began working as a store clerk. He eventually became interested in law and began studying under a local lawyer. Lincoln was admitted to the bar in 1837 and began practicing law in Springfield, Illinois. He quickly established a reputation as a skilled lawyer and became involved in politics. Lincoln was elected to the Illinois State Legislature in 1834 and later served in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1847 to 1849. He ran unsuccessfully for the U.S. Senate in 1855 but gained national attention for his debates with incumbent Senator Stephen Douglas. Presidency. In 1860, Lincoln was nominated as the Republican Party's candidate for president. He campaigned on a platform of opposing the expansion of slavery into new territories and states. Lincoln won the election, but his victory was seen as a threat by many Southern states. In December 1860, South Carolina seceded from the United States, followed by 6 other Southern states. They formed the Confederate States of America, with Jefferson Davis as their president. Despite efforts to reach a compromise, tensions between the North and South continued to escalate. On April 12, 1861, Confederate forces attacked the U.S. military garrison at Fort Sumter in South Carolina, marking the beginning of the American Civil War. Lincoln was faced with the enormous task of leading the nation through a brutal and divisive conflict. He worked tirelessly to build and maintain the Union even as the Confederacy gained momentum and threatened to win the war. Emancipation Proclamation and Gettysburg Address. In 1862, Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring that all slaves in Confederate-held territories were to be freed. While the proclamation did not immediately free any slaves, it was a crucial step in ending slavery in the United States. In November 1863, Lincoln delivered the Gettysburg Address at the dedication of the Soldiers' National Cemetery in Pennsylvania. The address, which is considered one of the greatest speeches in American history, honored the Union soldiers who died at the Battle of Gettysburg and reaffirmed Lincoln's commitment to the cause of freedom and democracy. Re-election and victory. In 1864, Lincoln ran for re-election against General George McClellan. Despite the ongoing war and significant opposition, Lincoln won a decisive victory, winning 212 of the 233 electoral votes. The Union began to gain ground in the war, and in April 1865, Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered at Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia. The Civil War was over, and the Union was preserved. Assassination and legacy. On April 14, 1865, just 5 days after the Confederate surrender, Lincoln was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth while attending a play at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. Lincoln's death was a devastating blow to the nation, which was already reeling from the effects of the Civil War. Lynn.